Hello everyone and welcome back for another Brutus Monroe video. Today we're just going to go ahead and get started. I have a piece of white cardstock and I am blending on some of the Simon Hurley inks, and I don't know if you've heard, but they are brand new to the Brutus Monroe store. So if you haven't gotten these stamps or these ink pads yet, they have them and you're going to want to have them because they are awesome. All right, back to what I'm actually doing. I am blending, and as you can tell, I am doing a sloppy job, and that's really not going to matter because we're going to do even more to this background. I am just going willy-nilly with those colors. I've got Remember Me and Tropical Tango because I'm bringing in some images from the brand new June inspiration box. Now, it's not quite available yet, but we're going to build up some hype, and you're going to see these images, and you're going to want to get that too. All right, so here's what I'm doing. I'm going to spritz some of that color, or I put the color onto my glass mat, spritzed it with some water, and now I am just going to clean up my mess, and I'll do the same thing with the Tropical Tango. Spritz it, and then put my piece right into that as well. These inks are reactive. Not only do they blend and they blend together, but they're also reactive with water, which is really cool. And I'm also going to do a little bit of splattering. So I'll do the same process of putting it onto my glass mat, pick up some water with a paintbrush, and then splatter that all over the background. I'll do the exact same thing with the Remember Me. And then we're going to heat set this until that is all dry, because my paper did get a little bit warped. This isn't watercolor paper, but you could absolutely do that on watercolor paper. But I didn't add a lot of water, so that's why it's okay. You wouldn't want to go too crazy. But see, here we're just heat setting that. And then I'm going to show you my next process. I've got some mermaid tail embossing powder, and this stuff is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I'm going to test out on my background since I did use water. I just want to cover that background with a little bit of that embossing powder, and you'll see that it does stick to some places. So I'm going to have to either heat it, which in my case I decided not to heat it. I just use a magic powder bag and just make sure that I have that all doused all over the background. I'm going to pull in the butterfly heart stencil. I think this stencil is so pretty, and you can make this, I can imagine making a big 6x6 card for somebody with these butterflies the way they are, but I also like doing it this way because it makes it look like they're kind of swooping in from one side. So we'll take our embossing ink and a mini ink blending tool, and I'm just going to pounce that ink right into the butterflies. I've done this before. You've seen me do this before, and it's actually one of my very favorite techniques to do with a stencil is to put embossing powder through that. So we're going to, like I said, we covered that with the embossing ink, and then now we're going to cover that with our mermaid tail embossing powder. And wait till I heat set this. Oof, it is gorgeous. All right, so we'll heat set it, wait till that is smooth and melted, and you can hold it up in the light and you'll be able to tell that it's melted because it'll go from a matte finish to shiny. And then I'll hold this up for you to show you just how pretty it is. And it even shows some of that background behind it, just kind of, because it's a little bit transparent, not totally, but just a little bit. We'll move on to coloring. So check out this image. Is this not adorable? So this is one of the images on the stamp set that will come in the June inspiration kit. I will have linked down below how you can subscribe to the kits, and I'm telling you, there just hasn't been a bad one. They're awesome, and they're always so filled with so many great things that it's just worth the price, I'm telling you. All right, so I've come in with some E25, and then I brought in some E37, and now we're coming in with a little bit more E25 to blend that out, and her hair is going to be an E5 or 49. So we're going with dark hair. And I have seen the inspiration team do some incredible things with the images that come in this stamp set. You will definitely be in for a treat this week if you keep an eye out on the Facebook page and Instagram. You're going to see all kinds of gorgeous things done with the different images in this set. And you, like I said, you'll be in for a treat. All right, so I'm going to finish coloring her tail. We're going fairly simple. I've brought in a V17, and then we're going to come in with V09 just for a little bit of shadowing and shading. And I don't, as I've said before, usually have too much rhyme or reason as to where I put my shadowing and shading. I just put it where I think it might look good. And then I'll color her little top with V04 in her earrings, and I will come back in and color her hair tie with that as well. But I'm bringing in a white gel pen, just doing a few little dots on her tail, and then I'll put some little lines on her hair because if she's in the water, her hair would be wet, right? And it would have some little shiny spots to it. And I'll put a few on her cheeks as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut her out. Now, as you noticed, I fussy cut all around, but I wanted that inside cut out as well. So I'll show you what I do. I kind of cut a chunk out of that, and then I'm going to come in from the bottom. And if I come in from the bottom and just move the image around the scissors, it makes it so much easier to get the cut that you need. And then I'll even do it on that other portion as well. My card base is going to be some Not Your Mama's Heavyweight Cardstock, my absolute favorite for card bases. It's 130 pounds, so it is a great weight for card bases. And I've cut that down to 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, so I'll score that at 4.25 inches to make a side folding A2 size card. And then we're going to kind of take a look at how we want to do this. I decide I want to cut that paper down just a little bit to have some of that card base popping through, and then I will take the chunk that I cut off. I'm cutting off about 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to cut that down to 1/4 inch each. So I'll have 2 little pieces that'll each be 1/4 inch, and I'm going to take those and put those on the inside of the card. So that'll add a little bit of cohesion from the outside to the inside. And then we're just going to glue those down on both sides. So this does leave a lot of room for writing or whatever else you might want to do in there. But I'll take some of the Brutus Monroe craft glue and just line this up on my glass mat and tack those down on each side. And I just love that color. That mermaid tail with those 2 ink colors are just stunning. Just stunning. And so then we'll go to the outside again and we'll start working on putting that all together. But I'm learning, folks. I am learning. Do the inside first. All right, so I'll use my bone folder again just to make sure that I have that down pretty well. And then I'll cover the back with some more of that craft glue. And I'm going to push that all the way to the far right hand side of the card. So I'll have a nice white border on the left hand side. And I did go ahead and already cut down my sentiment. So it says, "I can't wait to see you soon." And I think that's adorable. We're going to use some of the Brutus Monroe foam tape on the back of our image and our sentiment. So I'll trim that down and go ahead and put a bunch of little pieces all over the back of her. I'll peel off the release paper on the sentiment, line that up on my glass mat, and then we'll push that down. And then we'll peel off all the release paper on the back of our mermaid, and we'll adhere her as well. And then here's where I'll flip it over and trim off all the excess that I have. But I'm going to do that with my guillotine trimmer just to make sure that I have a straight line, because I don't always cut straight. All right, I have some purple Prism sequins, and I'm just going to splatter those all over, basically have them in my hands, and I'm just kind of dumping them on there. And then I'll take that craft glue along with my jewel picker, and I will tack those down as well. And then that's going to finish off our card for today. So as I said, you're in for a treat this week, checking out all the different cards and stuff that everybody made using these images. If you liked this video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And then I will see you very soon in the next video. Bye, everybody.